Welcome to the eClinicalWorks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Hughes. On today's podcast, we'll be discussing eClinicalWorks' Helo telehealth solution for addressing patient specialty services remotely. This podcast is part of a series of podcasts where we'll be highlighting how telehealth solutions fits a number of different medical specialties. eClinicalWorks has made several enhancements to its software to cater to telehealth for a number of different specialties. Here with me today is one of eClinicalWorks' gastro specialty subject matter experts. You may recognize him from our national conferences or at your local eCW day. Here with me today is Minesh from our business development and enterprise strategy team at eClinicalWorks. Minesh, thank you for joining with us today.
Thank you, Brian, for having me here.
Now, Minesh, TeleVisits has been a much discussed topic over the recent years and specifically over the most recent months in the healthcare industry. Many patients are asking for it. Many providers are looking for it. There are many different types of technologies out there. Why is this a service that patients and clinicians are looking for?
Good question, Brian. So, the telehealth seems to be the new buzzword in the healthcare industry. But you know what? Telehealth was there and has been there since years in the healthcare world. Due to the recent COVID situation and, the new world which we are in right now, I personally feel that has given its due acknowledgement to the telehealth technology. And that has really helped in terms of, a lot of practices in this situation to continue their cash flow and continue to see their patients, now in this way the practices and the patients seem more connected while having a virtual face-to-face conversation out there.
Right. And patients are taking and physicians are taking steps to, promote safety, especially with this COVID-19 pandemic going on. And a lot are now looking for a telehealth solution. If we didn't rely on technology, before all this, we're certainly relying on it now. eClinicalWorks has had a telehealth solution for a number of years. And, what has eClinicalWorks done specifically for practices, clinicians, and patients to be able to connect via televisit? And why is it such a preferred vendor in the industry?
One of the unique things about eClinicalWorks is we are a technology company, and more importantly, we are an entrepreneurial company. And we love to build products. We don't like to, stitch third-party solutions to our technology. We like to be an engineering company out there. Practices as well as patients were looking for a more seamless platform in terms of, with less number of steps to connect with each other.
Right. When you're talking about telehealth, it has to be secure, it has to be reliable, and it has to be easy use for the patient as well as the provider. And, eClinicalWorks clearly making features to support all that.
Absolutely. And basically, since it's a completely integrated platform, that is one of the other unique things which we have done, where in an EMR, I as a physician do not have to worry about, fumbling with my iPad or my phone, and then talking to my patient through FaceTime, and then coming back to my EMR, documenting my stuff, talking to the patient and going back and forth. Right at the point of care, everything is integrated, and it's a seamless workflow for the physician.
Now, speaking about your specialty gastro, of those features, what made eClinicalWorks the clear choice for them?
This is a common consensus from all of them that, since it's an integrated platform, it's intuitive, it's easy to use, it is actually helping their patients in terms of, higher adoption out there. And especially with, recent enhancements and certain changes which we have done. And by the way, more to come. I don't want to spill the beans over here.
We're working with gastro groups specifically with that group, in terms of how they're implementing it and converting some existing appointments. Would you be able to share, some of the feedback you received from some of your customers in that regard?
Absolutely. And I'll specifically talk about one group over here, which have been working with very closely GastroHealth in Miami, Florida. And, talking about Dr. Levitt, who's the president and CMO of the group, I can officially call him my text buddy now, where, we text almost every day. But there are certain great examples which he has given me, which, has changed my own perception of, oh, wow, these are some few real world scenarios which are quite possible through televisit. So, he gave me an example that he was scheduled for a televisit for a patient who was sick for 2 weeks and had severe abdominal pain. And with the help of televisit screening, Dr. Levitt felt that, this patient really needs an urgent ultrasound and the patient needs to come in the clinic. And guess what? The patient was in fact actually diagnosed with acute gallbladder disease after the results came in for the ultrasound. So that's huge in terms of, helping in terms of screening the process out there. The no-show rates on the televisit, if the patient is scheduled for a follow-up, is drastically lower as compared to, an in-office visit. And that kind of changes the game out there, where, televisit might be the predominant way of seeing follow-up appointments in the future out there as well.
Does eClinicalWorks offer any built-in complementary tools that can go along with telehealth that practices can use?
The entire patient experience and the provider experience doesn't really change out there. That with the help of registry reporting, you can mass email patients or do a mass reach out to your patients to help them understand that we are there to help you out even in this situation where they basically, a lot of gastro groups, what they have started doing is on their website they have our open access platform integrated, and I as a patient can basically go online, click on, I'm interested to schedule a televisit. I as a physician, if I have my schedule open, I as a patient can select at my convenience in terms of when I would want to schedule my televisit, and that entire patient experience is pretty seamless out there. And once the televisit has started, there are lots of tools. For a classic example, which I would want to add over here, Dr. Lavan from GastroHealth, he is one of our scribe users. And on mobile, and he's able to kind of see the patient through televisit, and at the same time from his phone he wants to dictate the entire note while talking to the patient on his laptop. So that kind of changes the entire perspective of the game out there, and at the end the provider experience still remains the same.
What we're seeing is this isn't going away.
Exactly.
Televisits is here to stay, and eClinicalWorks is
Exactly.
committed to, allowing our customers to continue that service and improve upon it. Now, getting back to some of your, gastro groups, would you be able to share any feedback that you're receiving from some of your customers in terms of how they're, leveraging telehealth solutions for their practices?
Absolutely. One of the great examples which I heard from GastroHealth, Dr. Levitt was sharing this with me. So in the current situation and crisis, a lot of urgent care clinics and PCPs, get phone calls from patients regarding gastro-specific complaints, right? Abdominal pain and so forth. And they don't really want to, have those patients step in their door. And that kind of gave birth to something called as GastroHealth Express in the Miami region and in the Florida region. And what these urgent cares and GastroHealth Express has a tie-up with these particular organizations like urgent cares and primary care physicians, and those physicians and urgent care clinics are in fact actually calling GastroHealth Express customer care line, and a rep would pick up the phone as long as that GastroHealth Express customer care line receives the email ID and the cell phone number of the patient. They are in fact on the fly scheduling a televisit appointment as a screening process to be done on that particular patient. And one of the doctors from GastroHealth would see the patient via televisit, see how things are going on, and if they feel that just prescribing a medication to that patient is going to take care of their complaints, they would do that. Or if they feel that the patient really needs to be seen in the office for some urgent ultrasound or an urgent lab which needs to be done on that patient, that's something which really changes the ball game out there of doing that entire screening process. Lots of excitement out there across the GI platform, and I'm happy to get an integrated solution.
Incredible stories, and I'm sure there's more to come. And Minesh, we thank you for joining and sharing your feedback with us, with telehealth solution for gastro. We really appreciate you joining.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me here, and stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Minesh.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining our podcast today. You can find other podcasts just like this on iTunes, YouTube, my.eClinicalWorks, or on our website, eClinicalWorks.com. On behalf of the podcast team, thank you for joining today.